What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Trey.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Back at it with another video.
Another one.
Today we're going to be reacting to a video from the Bulwark. It's an interesting episode because we have Tim Miller interviewing Saagar Enjeti. I believe I'm saying his name right. Tim is a former Republican. I think he still identifies as kind of Republican, maybe more libertarian nowadays. Saagar is definitely still a Republican, a conservative. He did vote for Trump, and he kind of has been very critical of the way Trump has been running, conducting himself in this term. This video is going to be them comparing Iraq war to the current Iran conflict. Don't know whether to call it a war or conflict, whatever. And I thought it was pretty interesting because I have a lot of disagreements with the things that Saagar has to say a lot of times. But for majority of this interview, I actually agreed with a lot of what he had to say. So we're going to get into the interview, the back and forth between Tim and Saagar, and I'll give you my thoughts as it goes along. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Here at this Gulf War, the first Gulf War, 292 killed, 776 wounded, 75 aircraft lost. But it's still considered a smashing success. You can be against war if you want, if you're a pacifist, but at present we only have 6 KIA. This was a couple days ago. And an adversary who boasted of 1,000 missiles a day is now launching like 10. We've utterly ruined a regional power in 10 days. Mm-hmm. What's your pushback to that?
Well, Gulf War had a very specific purpose. It was for the removal of Saddam Hussein from Kuwait. It had nothing to do with regime collapse like the eventual Iraq War, which, by the way, the Gulf War led to. It had extremely defined characteristics. Also, this is where I hate to be a process liberal, but the process does kind of matter. You had, the so-called coalition, which came into place where it was sold to the American people. The SPR was actually released. The Strategic Petroleum Reserve was released on the very day of the invasion, specifically to mitigate problems on the home front. And then, to bring it into politics, it was dramatically popular. It had some 90% approval rating. Not that that even matters, by the way, because as you and I both know, Bush went on to lose the election. So the point is about the strategic ends. We can blow shit up anywhere across the entire country. And the point about this is that there was no actual plan for what was going to happen if the Iranians did not immediately capitulate.
So let's stop it right there for a second. He said a lot. He speaks kind of fast during this interview, I noticed. But he's telling you, like, he's hitting all the points that the administration is not really talking about. And a lot of mainstream news is not. They are talking about to an extent, but it's not. I feel like we're not really driving home the key point of this. We are operating like this was not a drawn out plan and operation. We are operating as if something happened, right? At this point, we can say Israel was saying, hey, I'm attacking with or without you, do something. Now, with that being said, we did not, like he said, the strategic oil reserves, we could have went ahead and dipped into our reserve early so as to not put a burden on the American people, not to increase the oil prices. We knew we were going to attack. We could have put certain filters in to make sure that it just wasn't going to be a big deal for the American people. In addition to that, we could have prepared, as in, the president, Congress, whoever was aware that we were going to attack. Things could have been done to where we could have talked to the American people to let them know or to plead our case. Like, hey, these are the things that are happening. We need you to be aware of it because it's a big deal and we may have to act. You don't have to say that we're going to attack. You just have to say, like, hey, Iran is acting kind of wild. Like at this point, they're telling us that Iran was close to a nuclear weapon. Iran was playing loose with the negotiations, all these different things. They could have prepped us for that. They didn't have to give us strategic information on what we were and weren't going to do, but they could have said, hey, just so you know, Iran is closer to a nuclear weapon than we thought. Iran is also doing some things in the negotiation process that make us believe that they're not negotiating in good faith. Could have done all of that. Could have prepared the oil reserve just in case we were going to attack, so we didn't have to increase oil prices for the American citizens. Could have talked with our partners so we wouldn't have to ask them for additional assistance after the fact. What's going on with the UK and all that different stuff. And all that to say, the way we're operating, if you just take it, just read step by step on how we've done, what we've done, and you can see that we're kind of making this shit up as we go along. This is not us operating from a strategic war plan. And I get it. No matter what I say, there's going to be a bunch of people that are just going to accept that and be happy with the fact that we've killed a lot of the leadership in Iran. Good for us. Is the war over? Is it done? Because at this point, it's not done. I don't know what done is going to look like. I don't know when done is going to happen. And I'm slowly starting to lose faith that the administration even knows the answer to any of those questions.
Which they haven't. Even right now, everyone's like, oh, Trump is going to Taco. And it's like, is it really up to him? The enemy gets a vote. Right. They have an Ayatollah now who is... Look, the new Ayatollah, I can't even list the number of relatives that he has lost in this conflict. The number of like his mother, or what is his father, his wife, his son, niece, or what, the number of relatives who were all killed. He's a hardliner who was pushed by the IRGC. You have the entire IRGC that remains intact. The president of the United States has demanded unconditional surrender. And yeah, if we want, there's been this hilarious scandal where Ted Cruz and others have been attacking an interview that I just gave with Tucker Carlson, where Tucker Carlson said unconditional surrender means that you get to, what did he say? Unconditional surrender means foreign troops get to rape your wife and daughter. And they were like, oh, you're disgusting. You're saying America.
Okay, so I hate this analogy. Saagar keeps using it. Obviously, Tucker used it first. I believe that's what he just said. I hate this analogy. I get the metaphor that they're hinting at, but it's weird. It's a weird way to describe what they're getting at. What they're saying, and I'm sure y'all don't need me to explain it to you, but I'm going to just in case. They're saying that unconditional surrender is inviting the enemy in freely, without a fight, to do whatever it is they want to do. Take whatever you want, do whatever you want. In turn, what they're going to is a lot of these historical events where there was unconditional surrender offered up, and the losing nation, the people that surrendered their villages, their women, their territory was raped and pillaged. I don't understand why this is the metaphor. I don't get it, but just so we're clear, like he's not just being crass and vile for the sake of trying to get clicks and things of that nature. It's just a weird metaphor that they're using, and I still don't get why.
Troops are going to, no, that's not what he's saying. He's saying in history, as we saw during the Battle of Berlin and the eventual mass rape that took place at the hands of the Soviet Union from Genghis Khan, or any other unconditional surrender which has taken place throughout our history, that we have been involved in, not saying our troops engaged in it, nor would they ever, but that is the implication, especially that is taken to heart by the foreign populace. We've already seen a huge amount of reports of Iranian nationalism rising in the country, directly actually supporting the regime. I mean, there's videos, I can even send them if you want, of people who are literally in the square being bombed, who are cheering as it has happened. And while the announcer says, we will never relent and we will continue to fight, pretty much.
So that's another thing that I think doesn't get enough coverage. We're pushing the narrative, right? We're pushing the narrative. We've been pushing the narrative for a while. You heard Trump, like, pretty much through the media, speaking directly to the people of Iran. Hey, now is the time. Rise up, or continue to go against your government, the people in power. Like, we will support you. Continue to fight your oppressors. And yet I don't remember seeing a lot of coverage out of Iran, outside of the protests. Did see the protests. I don't remember seeing a lot of the coverage out of Iran saying, yes, America, please come help us. We need your help. Or I didn't see a lot of people saying, you know, that they're so excited, they're so happy about what's happening right now. Like, yes, thank God America and Israel are bombing our country and killing the leadership of this country. Like, we don't know if they're happy. We don't know if they're supportive of the current regime. Like, we don't know that. And we're probably, to be honest with you, we're probably not going to get an accurate picture of this for a while, because our government, me personally, you believe whatever you want to believe. I have no reason to believe that our government is going to be completely honest with us. I just don't. The nature of this war, the nature of how we got into it, the nature of the things that have already happened and how they're reacting to the coverage of it, I don't have faith that they're going to be honest with us about it. In addition to that, I don't fucking think Iran's going to be honest about it either. Like, this is a fucking country that backs terrorism, and they're just as corrupt and just as dishonest as anyone else. Like, there's nobody that I can go to for trust. I go to I go to the media to get the information. I'm way the independent media heavier than I do mainstream media. But to be honest with you, like, unless I get footage from directly out of Iran, probably like phone cam footage or anything like that, you don't know if you're being misled. That was pretty much the end of the video. I'm trying to make sure I don't bore you with like long 20-minute, 30-minute videos of me yabbering on and on through these clips. So I'm trying to put out shorter content to get to the point, give you the information, give you my thoughts on the information, and then trying to listen to your feedback. So that's going to be the end of it for this video. What do y'all think? Like I said, Saagar, I disagree with a lot of what he has to say. In this interview that he did with Tim Miller, I definitely agreed with him a lot more than I was expecting. I usually agree with Tim Miller a decent amount. There's certain things that he'll say that I disagree with. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe.
Hype me up. Hype me up.
You know, let me know what I can improve on. Let me know if y'all not feeling the content, things that I can change. But until next time, I'll holla at you.